awesome artists. Today we're going to do a lesson inspired by Keith Haring, and he loved creating kind of pop art graffiti style people with very simple characteristics. Keith was an American artist who worked primarily in the streets and walls of New York City. So we will be inspired by his style, and I can show you a few images to help inspire you too. But we're going to take our drawing a little step further. Keith often had his people and characters doing action poses. So they weren't often just standing still. They were usually dancing or moving or interacting in a certain way. And we're going to challenge ourselves to write a word with the people and the figures in our artwork. So I want you to think of a simple word, something kind of short, something maybe like your name or a positive word that you could use to help be your inspiration for making our characters also spell a letter. Now, my friends, we are of course going to start with our mantra so we can be strong and ready for our creativity today. So do it with me, here we go. My mantra: I am positive, I am creative, I am mindful, I am amazing, I am an artist. All you're going to need for this project today is a paper, some sort of drawing tool like a marker or a pencil, and I'll be using crayons to color, but again, as always, you can use any kinds of materials to color your art project today. Let's get started. Before we get started making a more complicated word composition from the characters of Keith Haring, let's talk about what the main basic parts are to make a character in the same style of Keith Haring's work. So let's draw one on the back of your paper just to practice. So the first shape we're going to do is to start with the head. And to do the head, I'm going to make kind of like an almost finished circle, something like that. Now, the characters of Keith Haring do not often have a head. The shoulders usually just come right out the sides. And the arms and legs do different things depending on the pose. So I'm going to have my arms, I'm going to have them just come kind of straight out like this. And you can even make them curve or move. So maybe, let's see, maybe they're gonna have kind of one hand going this way. So there's two straight lines, and I'll just do a quick erase right here. And I'm gonna come up the other way for these lines. So again, this is a more simplified version of a character. If we were trying to draw a realistic person, of course, Keith Haring's style is very different than that. So that's why we're really practicing just keeping it simple. Now, the hands of Keith Haring's work are typically just another little ball. So it looks like this, whoop, like that, on the ends, and then we're going to come down for the body. So the body comes down the side from where the arms end, something like that, and then the legs are often in some sort of interesting pose, so maybe a curve to the side, or maybe open like the splits, or maybe doing a funky dance. So I'm going to come out again and come in. I'm going to have mine do kind of like a funky dance squat move going on, come up and kind of trace to do the lines of my legs, and then for the feet we're just going to come out with sort of a kidney bean shape like that. Okay, so that's the simplest way to do a Keith Haring shape or a character. Now I'm going to try to write the word love with my Keith Haring figures. Now to do that, I might need to make a few characters. I could have my first one for the L sitting down, and then having my L sitting down might be just one person. Otherwise, I could do another person and have the other one laying down. So that's why I said try to keep your word pretty simple unless you have a big old piece of paper and you really want to go to town with it. But we're just going to take some Keith Haring design and go to the next level. So I'm going to start mapping out with a pencil my word and really get started with those shapes of the simple Keith Haring design. I'm not gonna lie, artist friends, that was a little harder than I thought, but a great challenge never hurt anybody, so I'm gonna grow from that and really keep practicing. Now, I'm gonna trace this with a Sharpie and then try to do a quick erase over the top so I know my pencil is clean, and then I'm simply just gonna color it in with crayon or a coloring tool. I might add a little decoration to the back, but that's pretty much it. We're just gonna practice similarly how we did to the back, keeping that simple design, and then making your letters inspired by Keith Haring on the front. All right, artists, don't forget that background. If you want to add any details with crayon or paint or coloring on the outside, I think I'm just going to do some awesome hearts that layer and overlap and fill my entire page. But again, as the artist, depending on the word that you chose, you can decide to decorate your background and you are just about done. friends, my Keith Haring inspired letter art. Remember, you are your own artist that can really take your art to the next level if you challenge yourself, because this was a little tricky for me. We're going to end with a mindful meditation, and for this one, we're going to focus on the word that I chose, which was love. So give yourself some love, put your hands just like this in a heart right in the center of your body, although I guess your heart would be on your left, right? But we'll go right in the center here so our arms and our body are even and the same on each side. And we're going to do 2 very deep breaths and sending yourself love the entire time that you do it. You can have eyes open or closed. 2 breaths, here we go. Feels good to send that love to yourself. My friends, remember, you are amazing, you are strong, you are resilient, and I love you. We will see you next time.